What's happening? Welcome in to another episode, man. We're talking watches with your boy today, Trapvision 3D, man. If you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. We're gonna have a pretty good conversation, I believe, to be honest. Which I think we always have a good conversation, don't you think? And we're talking watches. For those that are new here, listen, we sit back and we discuss watches, man. And I'm coming from a perspective as a consumer, as a fan of watches, horology, a fan of the talking heads on YouTube, and so on and so forth. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the one topic that is so popular right now, and it is the best watches for 2024. Before we get started, customary wristwatch check, and I have on the Hamilton Crosswind. This is the epitome of pilot watches right here. Good morning. Wow, Thizzle, what's going on, bro? How you? Good morning, my brother. Blessed to you, King. Thank you. Man, grand rising. I like when people say that at times. So I'm going to be giving a description of watches. We're going to be talking about some watches. We're going to be talking about Black Friday deals, so on and so forth, man. And great customer service. While I do that, let me at least go through. Hold on. I'm glad my phone just chimed. I did not have on the do not disturb, which still disturbs the call. I mean the actual internet, the YouTube show. Captain Spaulding, what's going on, man? Welcome in. We're gonna be talking about something like, so I'm not gonna go through a whole list of watches that are recommended, but I am going to choose. I'm gonna say some of the top ones, and we can have discussions. Please put in a comment what did you see this year? What was the one watch or the series of watches that were recommended by either Google, Instagram, if you get the commercials on Facebook, or YouTube, of course, whatever station that you normally tune into. So I've watched Teddy's. I've watched the ladies of YouTube, but I'm just called. There's a number of them. There's a number of ladies that I watch, Jenny L and all of those other ones, and they give their analogy of what is the best watches they get, for the most part. And again, I will say, as a consumer, as a fan of watches, the one watch that I'm gonna start off with this one. The first watch, I got it written down here, is Omega. Omega is one of the most talked about watches this year, period. Omega released a number of the Speedmasters and the Aquaterra. And the one that was talked about the most was the 38 millimeter. Oh, hold up, I got it. It's a big message. Okay. I guess you're right. Watch Junkie, welcome in. So, be it Omega. I can only base this, what I'm about to tell you, off the conversations I've had with, I've been to Moya Jewelers and I've talked to them. They have given us descriptions of what customers purchase the most of, what's the go-to watch. And of course, man, like the Speedmaster, when they dropped the white dial went crazy. I saw it. I actually put it on my wrist. Really nice watch. And I'm not even gonna hold you. I like the watch. The watch is really nice. But I have, matter of fact, where are you? I have an alternative to that, right? So in this, I'm going to be giving alternatives to the watches that you could potentially, take hold of. Now, Omega has huge history in watchmaking and just the horology, period. Huge, right? But the Boulevard Lunar Pilot, for those that say, I don't have $9,000 to spend on a watch or $8,000 to spend on a watch, this watch right here is great to get, historically speaking, because this one is another moon watch. It has all the information on the back of this watch. However, it is not, for those that love automatics, it's not automatic. It's a quartz, Mecha quartz, really precise quartz. In this particular watch will run you about $895. You can get this watch. Shoot, let me see what's the cheapest I've seen it personally. I've seen this watch as low as like $550, somewhere around there, pre-owned. You may be able to find it cheaper than that. I would just say put it in Google and go for it. But if you are like hell-bent on just getting something historically speaking as far as horology is concerned, this would be a great alternative to that Speedmaster. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the Speedmaster. I think, like I said, I've put it on. I've tried it out. I like the watch. But based on some of the conversations I've had, people cannot get their minds wrapped around spending that much money for a watch. I am Black Lives Matter leaders give us 36,000. Okay. All right, here's that, and that's good. So today, let me give you a quick lesson real quick. Political talk, what you get from the government has nothing to do with me. I'm not concerned about that. We're talking watches and stuff like that, man. So if you're interested in watches, cool. Because I'm going to tell you the truth by you putting that information in there. That's letting me know that, one, that's none of our business what you do. And if you're trying to get some type of response, that is my response. If it's not pertaining to watches, horology, it's not, I don't want to hear it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like that's controversial and I really don't want to hear that. Myself, I go by the look of the watch. So I'm glad you said that too, because that was a part of the conversation, is aesthetically speaking. That is the thing, man. People buy watches, man, and you may or may not be surprised at how many people jump into watches just based on what it looks like. But then when you see the price, that will deter some people. And then some people will be like, yo, I don't get that. I don't get that, right? So let's talk the next watch that, hold up, I got it. I got all the watches that I wanted to talk about right here. The Tudor monochrome, and the number one, because that was earlier this year, the Tudor GMT, Black Bay GMT. Now, you guys ever heard of METAS certification, right? This isn't COSC certified, but that is the criteria. The watch has to be COSC certified in order to be METAS certified, right? And that's just the master test. So I really took a dive into METAS certification because I didn't know all. I know that it was a test past COSC certification, but I really took a deep dive into that. Now, like, that test is 8 steps to this test. There's 8 criteria you got to do, man. Like, when I tell you to be METAS certified is crazy. And I was looking at research. It dates back to like 1909 when this actually became a thing. And I think it turned this METAS it became METAS certified in 2001, I believe, the actual name. And it's just the master test. So COSC certified being basic training for your watch, right? METAS certification is special forces. Yo, when I tell you that this thing has to be tested, and in like with the COSC certification, it has to maintain a -4 + 6 seconds per day, right? This one is like 0 to 5 seconds in multiple positions. It has a temperature test. It has a Gauss test, right? And it has to pass, like, it gets bombarded with all this magnetism, 15,000 Gauss, right? And it has to withstand that. They test the movement, then they test the movement in the watch. And they test it at, like, what is it, like 90 something degrees, and then they test it at 74 degrees or something like that, different positions. And then they test it in the water, right? They put your watch through hell. And what they're trying to do is simulate like wear and tear on a watch. So they test it on full wind, or full wound, or like a low wind. And this, man, bro, like, it's crazy. And then, like, I think towards the end of the test, they heat that bad boy to over 100 degrees, right? They drop some cold water on it, on the crystal, to make sure it don't get condensation. So I said, okay, now that makes, not saying I'm gonna run out and buy a an Omega or a Tudor, but if you think about buying this watch, hold up, somebody time, hold on, let me get into, hold up, let me go back to the chat. What watch are you wearing, Trap? Oh, I'm wearing my Hamilton Crosswind. What do you think of the RM 055? I think any RM like that one. I'm not familiar with that particular model, but RMs, I looked at it, took a look at them. Craftsmanship is amazing. Craftsmanship is freaking amazing. I think it's a great watch to look at and just learn about that specific watch. And they, man, you talking about complicated. Yeah, I love it. Now I have to research and let me look that. I'll look it up. I'll tell you on the very next episode what I think of it. RM 055. I'll tell you because I don't know that particular one, but I will say RM, man, complications is crazy. And if hypothetically speaking, if I had the money to buy the RM, I would not. I would not buy the RM. I think it's a great watch, but there are some other watches that I feel are just a tad bit better for me. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was gonna spend like a ton of money like that, I'd more than likely buy Vacheron over the RM. To be honest, just to be honest, I tried on them Vacheron 3 weeks ago, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it. Ooh, it's a beautiful watch, man. It's a beautiful watch. And I wouldn't want to spend $275,000 on a watch, even if I had the money, because I'm a car head. I love cars, and I would spend that money on a car before I buy that watch. But moving on, myself, I go back to look. All right, what do you think? I read that one. What kind of channel is this? Get out of here, Vic. It's nice. I want to try one. Okay. I believe Omega started Metis back in 2015. They did. And Omega was the only company using Metis. And people, I thought, like when I started reading about it, I thought Omega actually started, but it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? They didn't. This actually dates back to like 1909 or something like that. Early 1900s. Thelonious Monk, what's going on, bro? Wearing one. Just found this live by accident. Oh, so what do you have? You have an RM on? That is dope. If you follow me on Instagram, or if you're not, it's Trapvision 3D on Instagram. I love to see the picture, and then we could talk about it in the upcoming show. Like that's what. So some people have sent me some stuff. They gave me permission to show their watches online, and we will get into that starting next month. We'll start showcasing people, and people will be able to come up and talk about their watch collection. John M was timed out. Man, you must have did something stupid. Is this cat talking watches? Yo, Keisha's comedy set. What's going on? Thank you for being here. Always love it. Metacert is great. It definitely makes it more credible. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the. You know what? Like, let me put it to you guys like this. For those that, and the reason why I'm doing this live is because I'm not going to pretend that learning about a watch that's over $1,000 is great, especially like when we're going to be talking about Longines here too in a second. Learning about the history of a watch, the craftsmanship, the build, and especially if it just draws you in because of the way it looks. But then once you get into what it takes for that watch, right? That now I already like Tudor. I absolutely like Tudor. There is, I'm not gonna say it's a mix, but let's say I went through 20 channels, which I did. Of those 20 channels, majority of those channels talked about Omega more than anything else. Secondary was Tudor of the 20 channels. And then of course Rolex, right? So I think Rolex and Tudor was almost neck and neck. But Tudor was definitely talked about a lot. Omega was talked about a lot between these channels that I was researching. And again, my research was based on what would I buy? What would I like to have? If I was to spend money on a watch, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I still stand on this one thing. The Omega's Speedmaster 57 is my favorite Speedmaster of all time. If I was to get another Speedmaster, it wouldn't be the one they just came out with. The I guess the original, the homage to the original Speedmaster that went to the moon. I would get the white dial. I absolutely love That watch looks amazing. You know what I'm saying? And I will recommend it to anybody. I don't know if there's a company that homages the Speedmaster. Now I know, is it Pagani? I think Pagani does it, but it's not an automatic. I want automatic, even if it was mechanical. If there's a company that did the Speedmaster in the black dial variation, and I could spend $150 on it, I would do that, because I know I wouldn't. Even if I had the money, I personally wouldn't go and buy the Omega Speedmaster in any variation. And if I did, it'd be the white one. But that 57, hands down, that's one that I want to add in my collection. Maybe one day. We'll see. The day I do it. Yo, Sean John's in the building. What's going on? Salute. Thank you for being here. I definitely want to try an RM on. I seen it. I didn't try it on. I was looking at it, man. It was flipping it over, letting me see the complications, man. Sick, man. But going back to the Meta certification, I will say this to anybody that's collected more than 15 watches. If you have bought more than 15 watches, you can definitely get. Well, it depends. Let me take that back, because you could have bought 15 Casios, and that doesn't equal one of these more expensive watches. But if you can get your hands on a Meta certified watch and you like dive watches, I recommend that you get a Tudor, right? And it's not based off of some of the criteria that, you know, some of the talking heads are saying on their channels. It's solely because, one, you love craftsmanship, you love history, and you want to watch that's going to last. And you know the cool thing about these certifications, that number, once you get your watch, that number that they have, you can literally find out. You can reach out to the company, download the apps and stuff like that, and you can find out what your specific watch tested out at. So there's a general number. Everyone is different. You know. So I think that's cool if you spent $4,000 on one watch, right? Before anybody say like $4,000 on one watch. Yeah, if you are a watch collector and you buy multiple watches, you'll spend $4,000 in a year, easy. No, I'm gonna tell you more than that, and I know this from experience. This is no argument. But for those that buy Deep Blue, Aragon, Invicta, in that realm, anybody in that circle, I guarantee that you have spent over $10,000 in 1 year, and you can literally not buy a watch. You could take a year off from buying all these, like a whole bunch of watches, and get that one watch. And I'm not pushing anything. I'm not getting no money from Tudor for telling y'all this. I'm just saying, if you're into that type of stuff, if you learn or you grow into that, I'm not gonna say learn, if you grow into wanting something that is built like a man, when I say built like a tank, I would get that Meta certified Tudor, which we'll see how stuff works out next year. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I still want my what is it? I was about to say my Panerai, right? Still desire to have that one, but the circumstances they got to be in place. It has to be the right price. I'm not buying it brand new, but I'm starting to lean towards those watches that have those criteria, because I wear my watches out. But for those that say, hey, I don't care about Meta certification, there are companies like San Martin. San Martin puts out a Tudor homage, and then Nomadic. I actually have one, and this thing is built like a tank. It is, man, well crafted. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. I just thought that was pretty dope. They brought their own history to the fray. I mean, it was like, hey, you know what? We're a new company, true enough, and yeah, our watches may look like a certain company, which that does. It does favor. I wasn't even saying Tudor. I was saying this watch favors like the very first Rolex Submariner back from the 50s. It just happened to be green. So, and this thing is going to be what, $1,100 if you get the no date. I think it's $1,200 with the dated one. And then they have some other ones, man. They got some other watches, but like this one is the closest thing. If you want, this is that in between. You don't want to, you want something of quality, right? You want something that's built well, right? This thing is solid. I'm talking about great. Oh man, it's just the right. It's audible. Come on, bro. I knew it, man. I was getting interrupted already. There we go. Boom. Beautiful watch. Beautiful watch. I'm not. And again, they don't give me anything for talking about their watches. I'm just giving you my experience with some of these watches. Let me get into the chat real quick. I definitely want to try RM. Saw that. Yo, the price is crazy. I'd rather buy a house in Mississippi. We were just talking about RMs at the local watch meetup yesterday. Blue Label excursion Mondays, no magnums anymore. Hey man, you got your title, bro. You got the most magnums. You made the most noise about it. It's unfortunate that Invicta is not. Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. Sounds like the observatory chronometer. Monta Monday, I'm wearing my Pepsi SkyQuest. Oh, great. That's a great looking watch. Delonius referring to the early 20th century testing standards. Yes, yep. Scroll up, Monk. Brand of the year, what do you think will win it? Brand of the year? And that's what... I'm trying to think who made the most noise this year, man. From my feeble understanding of it, let's look at it. So I wrote some down, and this is what, based on how many channels I looked at that talked about it the most. The Tudor monochrome got a lot of conversation, but then there's another group of a subset of collectors, talking heads that I just found, that I just discovered, and I went back through their content, and some of them are saying that the Tudor monochrome was a very boring watch, where some of the more popular YouTubers are like, yo, the monochrome was stupendous, it was amazing, 2 thumbs up, Cisco and Ebert type. They were talking, giving it high praise. But then you go to the cost and meta certified Tudor GMT, which it had the taste of Coca-Cola on the bezel, right? Beautiful watch. I saw it. I think the watch is great, but then aesthetically speaking, I'll say one of the more pleasing, in my opinion, one of the more pleasing watches that I've seen this year that dropped was Longines. The Hydro Conquest, as well as the Hydro Conquest chronograph. I think those right there. And then they came out with some new colorways for the Legend Diver. But I don't think, honestly, I don't think those are going to outshine anything Tudor has this year. So I'm going to say, I may have to give it to Tudor for this year. I could be wrong. But I think Tudor, based on what it's a hard, because Vacheron was talked about, the overseas that was talked about, but the thing that's how much was that thing? $60,000, and it's 18 karat gold, like rose gold or something like that, strawberry gold. My Citizen Garrison Eco Drive field watch, brand of the year. Man, I'm gonna say Tudor, man, and I only reason I say Tudor is because Tudor's in that price point where pretty much anybody can get a Tudor. I think anybody can get a Tudor. You know, everybody can't get the Cubitus, which there's only, man, if I had to put a percentage, man, I'll say only 25% of the people that saw the Cubitus love the design, and I may be pushing maybe 18%, but I'm looking. And again, I haven't looked at every channel, but from the channels I looked at, majority of people are slamming it. Y'all, they like, and then, you know, with the, what's his name? Old boy that said what he said, pissed everybody off. Yeah. What do I have on now? I have on a Hamilton. I got my Hamilton crosswind on. Leather strap, aviation watch. One of my favorite pieces to wear. I think Hamilton did a good job with their presentations this year. With bringing, you know what, I'm gonna say, bringing a Murph out in the white dial variant, and then adding a bracelet to the other, you know what I'm saying, the traditional Murph, which isn't really traditional, because I think they took the Eureka off of the actual dial, or was it on the hand? Or was it, no, it was the Braille, they took that off. So I think that was a great you know, man. But I don't know. It was live for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then after that, it fell, and people got back on talking about the tutor, the monochrome more than anything. But in my humble opinion, I think the GMT was a better option. If you want a historical chrono for less than 3K, hand hard, yeah. Oh yes, I saw that flyback. Yes, man, I got a chance to see that watch in person. That watch cold-blooded. Oh my gosh. And I think you're the one that put me onto that. If I'm not mistaken, you mentioned that about a month ago. Yeah, man, that watch is stupid. Now, Longines has a flyback, which is, that thing is crazy too. Being 10, Citizen is in the top 10 of most dynamic and impressive collection of 2024. That's another watch that's on here. Citizen offered, which I'll give you an example. The Ciosa. This was considered, somebody, when they talked about this watch, they said this is the PRX killer. And I have to tell you that the PRX gives such a sporty and casual design. This one is no slouch. And what makes it even better is the price. And then a bracelet. They chose not to go. They said, hey, we'll do something in the realm of like how what Tissot did. But they went their own direction. Man. Like, this thing is crazy. And then look at that back there, man. When you look at this thing, is nuts. This is nuts, man. This is such a watch that you can wear. If you're a CEO, you can wear this watch. If you just hanging out, you can wear this watch. This watch is bad, man. I'm telling you, this is probably one of the best watches they brought out. Then they brought up with the small seconds. And then they brought up the titanium. I forgot what they call that one. They don't call it the Ciosa, but it's built off the same design. It's all titanium, and that watch is together, man. Under $500. Under $500, man. That watch is together, bro. When I tell you, but I'm gonna tell you, one watch that I'm glad I got it. And for those that love Omega, Speedmaster. Somebody asked me about this watch the other day. Do I still wear this watch? Yes, I do. This watch is super lightweight, man. Oh my gosh, it's crazy light, man. It's like having a piece of paper on the wrist. But the fact that it is a homage to the original Speedy, really nice. I dig it. And I kept mine on the original strap. I did not want to change out, which I know people said, hey, you know, you want a better experience, change out the strap for something more substantial, because the strap that they give you is terrible. I'm that type. I'm keeping it original because I got it for a number of reasons. And I'm not going to lie to you. Yes, hype was the number one reason I got it, because it was a hype watch. And I said, hey, and then the fact that, hey, it's an Omega. Will I ever get a chance to buy an Omega? Possibly one day. But that day is not today. It wasn't this year. So I got what I can afford. And this is what I'm telling people. If you want it and you want a taste of what that Omega looks like, get it. Put it on your wrist. It's been talked about all over the internet. And there's some people that absolutely hate this watch. They hate it. They said, man, you're stealing the heritage of everything. Jay, going to Carnival Celebration? Are there deals on good brands like Omega, Tudor, Cartier, etc.? There are some pre-owned watches on there that you may not be able to find anywhere else. They had an original tank on there, and I don't know if it's still there. So that will be your biggest advantage of buying. And some of the other prices on that ship are comparable to what you'll find in an AD. They don't give a lot of percentage off, like 10-15% off, whatever the cost is, but it's comparable. Some of it is comparable to what you'll find. Now, I'm gonna tell you this, I'm not 100% sure on Rolex, because I was looking at a YouTube video some months back, and this guy bought a Rolex, and then when he got back, he had to pay duty tax on it. And he was like, no, I bought this off in the ocean. They said, yeah, that's a Rolex because you spent over $10,000. you have to report back. And he had, like, they was gonna get him for tax evasion or some crap. Like, he had an issue coming back into the States. You know what I'm saying? So I would tell you, if you do buy a Rolex on there, get that in writing. Be like, yo, I don't have to pay duty tax on it, because they said duty free on the Rolex thing. You know what I'm saying? The pre-owned Rolex, which they had some nice ones. They had some nice pieces, some older pieces. So and they had a few Omegas in there. They had a number of Cartier. Rolex, of course, they had a bunch of those. Everything else, like on that ship, let me think. They had Philip Stein. They had oh my gosh, Bremont. They had a company, I can't pronounce it, but it's CS, and I think it's an Italian-based company. Very expensive, some of them are, but they range anywhere from 900 all the way up to 8,000 or 8,900. Well, they'll just say nine grand. They had Oris. They had Citizen, G-Shocks, Steinhardt, Invicta. What else do they have in there? I'm missing one. Tissot, Longines. Yeah. Wearing my Aragon Anti-Gravity Eagle R150. I missed out on that one. Got to try on the AP Royal Oak offshore yesterday. Yeah, those things are nice too. Be careful on cruise prices are escalated. Yeah, they like quality over quantity. Yeah, Ben. Posting the wrist roll in the upcoming video. Okay. Luciano, what's happening? Yo, Skylar, man, is in the building. Thanks. What is it? Invicta Sand 8, the automatic version. Way unique dial with the cool design using 8. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. I like to see where Invicta goes with that. Invicta came out, hitting in at the end of the year. They took the NH35 and modified it. They modified the movement, man. Added like a day-night complication to it, and that thing, like, I didn't even know what the movement was. I was like, what is that? I thought it was I don't know what I thought it was. Like, man, I was like, yo, that's crazy. Again, no notification. Trap must be speaking too much. True. Screw 2 can't handle it. Yo, T White, what's going on, man? Just jumped on to say hi, and I'll catch the playback. All right, cool. My Tudor BB58 Pro is fire. It wears great, and I believe you too, because I've tried on a number of Tudor watches, man. That's why I said I think Tudor will be the brand of the year. I think it's based off of not just design, but the quality and the affordability. And yes, I'm using the word affordability for a $4,500 watch, because again, you may not be able to just pop and buy a Tudor just like that. But I know that if I took a year off of buying as many watches as I bought, like, I'm gonna tell you this right now, there are at least 4 watches in my collection that I bought that I could have bought a Tudor. There's 4. So I know, yeah, this year, like, yeah, on the tear. I'll tell you one, and this is if you want like a significant dive watch, right? Combat style, dressy. Glycine is it. Now, this isn't the original band. Now, what like the title says, the best of 2024 versus what I actually bought. Watches like this. And you can get this under, now this is the beautiful thing about it. When you learn about your watches, right? For example, you have an ETA-based or Solita-based movement in here, right? The 2824. And if you look at it, man, hold up, you'll be able to see one. I have one. So this one, again, is based off the ETA 2824. And you won't know exactly which one it is unless you take the case back off and look at it yourself. And like, okay, that's either ETA or Solita. But you can actually, the parts are transferable. They're pretty much the same thing. But then there's companies that offer you watches with the Solita 330 in it. That's what this one would be, right? Now this does not have my 24 hour, and I have it right here. This one got the 24-hour dial on it. This one has the 12-hour dial on it. But both of these have that GMT. And if you ever took your watch and you wound it up, you hear that little grindy. Not with these. Not with these. Not at all. And these are great options to buy. And like, because GMTs are so just on fire, GMT. And I'll go back to when I bought my GMT Aragon, the NH34, like 2 years ago. And it's just been up from there. Like 2 years ago, the GMT's just, people's like, GMT, oh my gosh, I gotta get it. And people just been spending money, man. So it goes back to that, like with the Tudor. That's why I go back. I think Tudor's going to be the watch. If Tudor's not the brand of the year, I'm going to say Omega. I'm not even going to say Rolex. And Rolex was talked about, but Rolex didn't really offer anything new that was exciting this year. Just wasn't. At least nothing to talk about. What's up, Ramon? Welcome in. I think Tudor should be up there because I hear of them all the time. All the time. There's not, I'm telling you right now, you don't have to dig into the video. Just go look at, like, type in Tudor watches on the search bar and just look at how many, man, there's so many people. Or just type in best watches of 2024 and look at, like, from Teddy all the way down. Like, these people, everybody is clamoring about Tudor. All, man, everywhere. Just, that's all they talk about. That's it. Watch check. I got on the, which I'm actually about to switch out. I'm going to switch out here in a minute. All right. So another company, with, what do you call that? Hamilton. Seeing I got one on. Hamilton, they released, that Murph. And again, it was great learning about. They was coming out with a new Murph. I say that hype lasted for about 2 weeks, and then it was just in the wind. You know, we were back to Omega, we were back to Tudor, and back to Rolex. Like there was no in betweens. You know what I'm saying? Then of course there were other channels that talked about Citizen, which I'm gonna tell you one that kind of fell under the radar because this dropped out. This is that Godzilla, right? I got this one because this corresponded with the movie. I had to get that. Had to get a Godzilla. Had to. Look at it. Ecozilla, King of Monsters. This is a massive watch. One of my favorite quartz pieces outside of my Boulevard. And this one actually, again, this was one when it was mentioned, it was talked about for about a week, maybe. And then it was, about a week. I don't even think this made it 4 days. But, you know, people like, let's talk about something else. Because that came out right before Watches and Wonders was, you know, doing their thing and people were running to Switzerland. Let's see, year BC belongs to Longines. Unique concave sequence dials. Conquest it does. Oh yeah. I would dare to say that Christopher Ward will be named Watch Company of the Year. I wouldn't say it because it's an independent and it doesn't. It won't trump the other, like the main brands like Tudor, or they just won't. You know, especially with, I mean, if that's the case, man, I think. Let me see. Well, I'm not gonna say they had a better year over. And I'm thinking Formex. Formex came out with their GMT, and I really don't hear people clamoring about that as much. You know, there's some brands that go under the radar, man. That just, if it was left up to me, I'm like, hey, these should be main brand. So y'all know I'm in Indiana, and I think one of the hottest Indiana brands out there is Visitor. Just the overall look, and I believe I saw on his Instagram page today, he got something new he working on, man. I saw he was just showcasing the actual crown, and I was like, oh snaps, man, he doing something, he working on something big. Don't know what it is, but I can't wait for it to come out. Bro, don't sleep on Seiko. Seiko did a great job this year, man. They came out with a diver that people loved. Did I bring that? Hold up. I might be missing a watch. Okay, yeah, I knew I was missing one. I'm glad you brought that up. Now, this is just my favorite brand of Seiko that I think was the most phenomenal watch they brought out. And it's their cocktail timer. That right there, amazing dress watch, beautiful color scheme, comfortable as heck. It's just, man, this watch is a thing of beauty, man. I absolutely adore this watch, man. And I know, like, if you ask the average Seiko fan, what was the best release for Seiko, and I'm pretty sure they'll say the Alpinist. And Alpinist is cool because, you know, that's a universal watch, something that, you know, all you guys can wear. That's a day-to-day, everyday piece. But not for me. That Presage cocktail timer, hands down one of the best watches Seiko's put out. That's just for me. I know. He said, Seiko, I'm snoring. Tudor is accessible. It is. Longines could be top 5, I believe. I wouldn't doubt it, bro. I wouldn't doubt it. And I just wrote down a couple notes here, man. Like the Omega Speedmaster got made a lot of noise. I mean, a lot of noise. But again, the Hydro Conquest Chrono and the Spirit, equally just phenomenal, man. And then when you're thinking about the price of something from a company that is old as, was it 1832, you're getting a lot of bang for buck, man. But again, that's me thinking like, hey, this watch is historic, is this, is that. After talking to these people on this cruise and people that just collect watches, man, some people don't even, like, they care less about history. They just know that these watches existed for a long time. They're looking at their pocketbook first. They're like, oh, that watch is nice. How much is it? And anything north of $500, they're just like, man, I don't know about that one, bro. Man, hey, you got Timex? This is what people saying. Like, so that's what I was like. That's why I put in a title, Best Watches of 2024 versus what you actually bought, right? Again, Tudor. If you're looking into Tudor, man, Nomadic puts out an amazing watch that sits in that same vein. But I will also tell you that you can even do one if you're looking at historically. Now, this is just one example. They actually have a Pepsi. No. Yeah, a Pepsi bezel style of this that will remind you of a Tudor. And the one thing though is it's a flat watch. You're under 11 millimeters tall, right? You don't have the 120 click bezel. Now, I don't know if they have any of their combat subs come with 120 click bezel. They're normally 60 click. But if you're going off of pure aesthetics, you can get these watches super cheap, right? Like, they're very affordable. Very affordable. And again, if you just like, hey, forget that, man, I'm going to just stick with this. This is sporty watch, man. It can even be dressy, too. I put a suit on with that. So I think if we're asking what's the company of the year, and you're asking the average consumer, somebody that's like, hey, I only spend $1,500 a year or $1,000 a year on watches anyway, I would say that Citizen will probably be like up there, like number one, unless they're into watches like San Martin, the homage companies. These are companies, San Martin, Eddie's Dive. I think those companies are the ones that will last through an economic downturn. The rest of those companies, done for. Let me get into this comment section. I probably asked this question before, but you think the brands you showcase will take over the market in the future, 5 to 15 years from now? Luciano, that's crazy. Okay, so yeah, I think that Citizen will always make a watch that's affordable for people. I believe if as long as glycine stick with what they're doing right now, I think glycine will have a future. Now, when we're talking micro brands, that's a tricky one because you got Cincinnati Watch Company. A lot of people don't like. I don't hear anybody talking about Cincinnati Watch Company, and they put out. And I don't have the example with me, but they put out a great watch, man, an amazing watch. Another one, I think, Visitor. You're talking anywhere from like 550 or whatever. Let's just say 600, between 6 and 800, between 6 and 800. They're sitting at that, right? But there's a lot of companies like Nomadic. You can't get a Nomadic under $1,000 at this point. Now they say start. I think their website you say starting at $995, but like that's on strap, And if you're a bracelet type person, you have to sacrifice cost with how you want the setup. But I think that in the next 5 to 15 years, companies like Addie's Dive, people that get more familiar with Deep Blue, if you're into dive watches, because Deep Blue are amazing. Invicta companies will now Invicta is a tricky thing, and I don't know if Vic is still here. I saw that they're bringing out new colorways to the Magnum. There's no Swiss made, nothing on there. They're using the VD53. I just think that in that area of larger watches, even with Invicta collectors are starting to walk away from the 56, the 55, and even the 50 millimeters down into the 44 to 48 millimeter. They're sticking between that. That's like, and that's where the sales are going. Now you still have those traditional Invicta collectors are like, nope, it's 55 millimeters or better. There ain't nothing changing about that for some of these people. But there are a number of people, and then you got to think about, they even said it themselves. The new customers are looking at smaller watches. The new customers are looking nothing more than a 47 millimeter, from 40 to 47. So as long as Invicta stay in that vein with these new people, they got a shot. But then they got to understand that that same customer base are looking at companies like Glycine, which I understand that they're still under their umbrella, but they're looking at micro brands because micro brands are making a lot of noise. So I do think that those will take over the market, bro, because that luxury market, people that were looking forward to buying a luxury watch and their paychecks hasn't increased, but the cost of living has increased. Yeah, they ain't going. Longines could be top 5. Yeah, I believe that coming back in a few. And I've been seeing a lot of Seiko on wrist. People are buying. Yeah, that was cold-blooded. Yeah, I want to buy that watch so bad. Seiko pumps them out. No shade, but it's oversaturated to me. But you are right. They are everywhere. There's a thing about Seiko right now, bro. Seiko, and I have a number of Seiko 5s. I got 5. Is it 5? I think I got 5 Seiko 5s. And I wouldn't buy another Seiko 5 even if you gave me the money to buy one. You be like, hey, Trap, you should buy this one. Here, I'll send you the money. I'm like, bro, save your money. Because if you send it to me, I'm gonna put that on something else. Having a watch that has 14,000 models and you call it a number limited, yeah, that's not number. That's crazy. That's crazy. A limited watch, man. Even Invicta used to practice this, man. They wouldn't go over 250 on certain watches, 300. Especially with how many people were buying. There's millions of people that buy these watches worldwide, man. And you only make 500. That's limited. If you have 1 million customers and you did a run of, Invicta had a run of 25 for some of these watches, and I heard even 10 on specific ones. They were expensive back in the day, 12, 15 years ago. But when you see companies that's doing 1,000, I would even say up to 4,000. That's limited in comparison. So just imagine if Tissot put out this watch right here, right? and it was, let's just say, it was signed by somebody famous, an author. I don't know, just Steven Spielberg. Let's just say it was Steven Spielberg. That was his favorite watch, and they only put out 1,900 of those watches. Right, 1,900 people in the world could buy a watch that is a collab with Steven Spielberg or whoever, your favorite author, whatever. I don't know, whatever. That's limited. But when you say 9,000, 15,000, 25,000, that's what Seiko does. I'm like, bro, that's not limited. Get out of here. Nerd with Swag, what's going on, man? Vincent, how you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. Mike, what's going on, bro? Moon watch. I love titanium watches. That which is amazing. Hype will do it to you. Yeah, it will. I have the brown one. Okay. I've been a victim of hype as well. Trap hitting us with word salad. We all have been. Yeah, bro. Everybody speaking. Rolex has become cliche. Yeah, I still love Rolex. Disney Cruise was selling pre-owned Rolex is on the last cruise, 10K and above. Too many of my favorite Too many of my favorite rappers spit hot bars about Rolex. I have owned way too many Rolex. I can get a Rolex for $2,500. They lower their prices on select few. Bro, I was way behind. Hold on. House of X in the building. What's going on? Let me get through these comments real quick because I was talking. 117.23. Get out of here. The Formex GMT is 4K. Yeah. Yeah, affordable. Yeah. I don't understand the hype space. It's all in the name. That's a large statement about Seiko Presage Trap because so many Seikos have been coming out. I know. So here's the deal. For me, this one, it just like when I saw it, I was like, oh man. Now it's nothing special to the movement or anything like that. I just love the way this watch looked, and I got it for a great price. I didn't pay, so I think that watch retails for $550. I got that for half the cost, a little bit less than half. Alpines look nice. If I got a Seiko, would be that. See, that's my thing. Is like people will actually go with more of a feel style watch, which I think that's a dressy style. But me personally, for that price of the Alpinist, I will go micro brand and go with Cincinnati. The Cincinnati is actually $150 cheaper than that Alpinist. Right now, it doesn't have the name and the prestige as Seiko, but I don't care. That I literally watched him build these watches. I went out to Cincinnati 2 years ago and sat with Jordan, which is their watchmaker, and I watched the test that he does with this watch. I looked at the test for my watch, right? He did the pressure test, the whole thing. He got all the testing equipment down in his office, and I said, hey, that is nice. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck from a company that is only a few years old. It does not have the history that Seiko has. But that's one of the things I think certain micro brands they'll be standing tall 5 to 15 years from now. Some of them, there's a company called Seahome, right? I saw a demonstration in Texas last year. Beautiful watch, well constructed. Man, this thing it could take a lot of G-forces on this watch, man. Like you could drop it. It's pretty much an analog G-Shock. It is, but like their chronograph is, the last time I checked, was like $3,400, and if you bought a 3-hander, that was around $1,700. Premium quality that he does, and he offers like this lifetime warranty on it as long as you send it in to him. Same thing with Nomadic. Nomadic offers like a 5-year, like every 5 years, if you have this sent over to them, you got like a lifetime warranty on this watch, which I think that's great. But if your name isn't out there, people don't trust the name of that company, because if you call yourself an independent or a micro brand, you're just not gonna have it like that, and you could fall. What's going on, Robert Wood? How you doing? Looks like a Rolex Submariner. Does. Thanks, Vic. I think in 2025 we're going to see a lot of chronos and non-conventional shaped dress watches like that Serica. That's possible. Somebody else mentioned that too. I love to see more brands use the NE86, 88, and the Peacock SL 4801. Thelonious, you and a couple other people, we were talking up there, and this is crazy. Man, I think you've been spying on me, bro. We were just having this conversation, though. Larger watches are out of style unless you're at the beach. Seiko 5 is an awesome watch. I bought one for $250 with custom and shipping. Not bad. Rolex makes great watches, but I think some of their watches, except for the Daytona, is reasonable at retail. It's just the massive exuberance in the gray market doesn't make any sense. Alpinist is not nearly as good as value as it once was. All right, so Rolex, let's talk about it. Rolex, I had a conversation with some collectors, and there was a guy that he is a huge, when I say a huge Invicta collector, he said, don't get it twisted. I have, did he say 3? You got 3 Rolexes, 2 Submariners, and a Daytona. And I asked him, I said, yo, so what possessed you to buy the Rolexes? He said, bro, when I got promoted at work, I bought that first one. I got it. I got some recognition. So I bought another one with my next, this, that, and the other. Then he made an investment, made good on the investment. He bought the Daytona. Now, when he bought his Daytona, it wasn't at the crazy price that we've seen Daytona reach, right? Daytona's back at 80s, man, was like $380. You know what I'm saying? That was a Daytona's price. Granted, that was 85 or something like that. Fast forward, I mean, even in 2025 or 2022, or no, during COVID, when we seen that same watch or an upgraded version of that Daytona was going for $50,000, $56,000. Like, yo, wait a minute. Wait 1 second. That's crazy. Especially when you look at watches, like when you learn what goes into certain watches. And I'm like, what is it about a watch that was hated by the public? They didn't like it. Let's face it. Look at the history of the Daytona. That ugly duckling came out to be the prize of the ball, and now that thing is stupid expensive. What is a Daytona right now? I don't know even, like, has it come back down to 25 grand? Somebody let me know. I'm not sure, but it still ain't worth that. A Daytona? Nah, bro. Nah, man, before I buy that or even think about saving up for that, even if I made the moves to invest in, like, oh, I made a good deal on this investment, I'm either going to get the Hamilton chronograph, the Jazzmaster chronograph, or that Longines. That's it. I get a special number related to the watch. Oh, hold on. 500 should be the limit for limited editions. Good recommended. Google recommended me Orient Bambino. That's a good watch too. I think it's 15 to 16,000 in retail. Okay, still a bit pricey. I think the Panda still trades for low 20s on the secondary. Sheesh. That's a lot of money, man. All right, your favorite Seiko is the currently. Hold up. I ain't got a screenshot today. I'm gonna write this down. This is my little study book right here. SJE 115. Okay. All right. 23. All right, I'm gonna look that up, Thelonious. I'm gonna look that up. So let me ask you guys this, for those of you guys that's in the chat right now, what do you think? What would you say is the watch of the year, or the watch company of the year? Or you can even answer this. What do you think was the best watch option that was offered for 2024? The best one. And then we can go a step further. It's like, what was the best watch that you bought for 2024? Yeah. I would like, for me personally, I would have to. There's multiple watches that I bought this year that I think that just just did it for me. Um, be it this Boulevard. When I got this one, man, I was like, yo, this thing is so nice, man. I don't know, I just dig this watch, man. Like the dimensions, man, the overall look, the vibe, the weight, the color, man. I love the fact like that those blue pushers, man. This watch is, and then it comes with the blue leather too. Like, so when you want to switch it out, and on the back, it's so easy to switch out too, man. So easy to just boop, pop it out, pop the new one in, and keep it moving, man. This watch is cool. I like the bracelet, but I know that who is that? Mark from Long Island has a new bracelet, updated bracelet that I hear that's better than this original bracelet. Another watch that I thought, and this wasn't advertised like that, man, but Visitor, man, I'm sorry, man, but Visitor puts out this watch is man, aesthetically speaking, man, this comes with a 9015, Miyota 9015. The loom is amazing. The fact that it got those pin style hands on it, and if you look at the north, east, west, south, all that, man, that actually represent ink. Once that hour marker hand gets down it, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Look like it's writing. Look like it's ink shooting out of it. At the 1263, like the cardinal position. Hold up, just look at that. The curvature on that. Look at that, man. This watch is cold. This watch is cold, bro. I'm sorry, but this that's one of my favorite buys for 2024. That watch is so cold. I put that watch on and just be like looking at it like, man, that's crazy. Because it's dressy, but then you throw on some jeans with this. Bro, I got some blue J's, right? I had the blue jeans on. I got some blue J's. And I had a white t-shirt on. I threw this on. I was like, bro, I'm cold. I threw my hat on with it. I said, okay. Okay, all right. I see you. I see you, Trap. I see what you're doing. I see what you're working with, bro. Yeah, that's a cool watch, man. Cups represent. What up? I can screenshot anything for you and send it to you later. Oh, man, thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Easy, any magnums or... Man, look. I feel bad for Vic, man. Hey, you know what's bad, bro? When your favorite watch company stop making the design that you have, man, and seeing it, you know, somebody left a comment for me yesterday, it was the day before yesterday, and they said the Invicta community is an alternate universe. I thought that was probably like one of the coolest comments that I've seen. And there are some comments that whether you are poking fun at Invicta or not, I accept all of the comments, man. I'm not censoring or filtering any of the comments, except for like if you drop like the black comments that some of these people like. When you drop the M-bomb and stuff like that, I'm like, I could put you on blast, but I said, I just don't want nobody else to see that and be offended, so I'll take those out. That one, so I can't say that my channel is totally free of filtering, because I have taken those hateful comments out. For the rest of them, it is filtered by some of the words that you use. I put it in there, so yeah. But over 90% of my channel is not filtered, man, because like I don't expect people to like Invicta or Deep Blue or Aragon and stuff like that. You know, I don't expect people to like spending $5,000 for a watch, but we're gonna talk about it. I am a customer. I'm a consumer of these things. I'm no different than some of you guys. You know, I like what I like. You know, who is that? I think it was that Ben 10 comes in and he mentions the watches that he likes wearing, which I've screenshotted a lot of what you've talked about. Go from there. Let's see. Question: do you have any smartwatch recommendations? It just depends, man. I have my Android, and I do have the newest Android smartwatch, which is pretty cool. Tracking my calls, tracking my steps. It's really nice. I'll probably review that. I'll review that for Christmas, right before Christmas. I'll review it. I'll put it up. You can get two-tone for the same price as a Panda. My wife wants a Louis Vuitton handbag. It's cheap compared to what you guys are spending for watches. You sure about that? A Louis Vuitton handbag? Whoo, bro. Louis Vuitton ain't no punk unless you get a knockoff. Louis Vuitton is not true, but I get it though too. There are watches that are way more expensive than Louis Vuitton. So yeah, you're right. But Louis Vuitton's still expensive, bro. God, dog. New Yorkers are rude. What about the Travis that you have top pick for this year? I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I dig that Travis. I love that watch from Dufresne. I absolutely love that watch, bro. But there's some other watches that I bought this year, and I'm gonna give you my top 5 picks that I bought this year. My top 5. And that one, because I've been working on that one. That was a hard one, man. But bro, this one right here, this is an instant classic. This is one of them like, hey, yo, kids, when you watch this one, just know Dad is saying that this watch, when I'm up out of here, this is one that you want to look for. Hands down. That watch right there got it. That thing got it. You know what I'm saying? My most important watch, I think, gotta be this one right here, bro. And I want to address one thing too, is being a part of society, being included in the conversation. I had this discussion with a collector last night, wanting to be included and not buying watches just because of hype or just because everybody else buys one is bullcrap, because some people do. Some people buy it and they want to be acknowledged. You know what I'm saying? They want to be a part of, because you don't know what their lifestyle is. You don't know what they went through before, you know, as an adult. They could have been alienated as a kid, and now they love something that all of us love, right? And they like, yo, I bought this watch, and then I was getting all type of love from people, man, when I showed this watch. It's like, yo, that's crazy, right? So some people do buy it, and they may not even like the watch, but they buy it just to be included in the conversation. I mean, and I can't even knock that if you do that. I mean, that's your thing, Jan. The Canton, super clean. The Bel Canto, yup, that's another one. Floating secondhand. I have seen it. Did I see that watch? You got good vibes, yo. Thank you. The Bel Canto looks beautiful. And you know, it's one thing, if you guys have yet to get to one of the like minutes and hours or the wind up. If you get to one of those wind up shows, you will definitely see Christopher Ward. And Christopher Ward, I think, is the only company that don't sell watches at these shows, these fair shows. They don't sell, they educate. And then it makes you want them even more. Because I do want a Christopher Ward. Don't even, hey. The watches are getting to that point where they're above the $1,000 mark. So the once before entry level $500 watch is now the entry level is $1,000 to get into certain watches. And it's crazy that the micro brand and the independent space are now hitting you at the $1,000 mark. And you're like, jeez, you know. So that's how it is easy to get into companies like Citizen. If you've never owned a Citizen, their category, their catalog that they have, oh yeah, they got something for you. I'm telling you, whether you like automatic or quartz. Now, it's not Swiss made, and if you have to have that Swiss made, that's why I always, a company that's going to, I think, forever be, until if somebody else buys Glycine, which I hope they don't. Because you imagine if Glycine got added to Swatch Group. This once, even with the getting the GMT, you'll spend less than $1,000. If Swatch Group get a hold of Glycine, oh yeah, $1,200 is going to be the bare minimum that you're going to pay for one of these watches. $1,200. Watch. I'm telling you, if that happens. And then some people like, oh man, Glycine is it. I love Glycine because Swatch owns it. But I'm like, yo, it's the same company. It's the same company, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were able to get a watch with it being under the umbrella of Invicta for under $1,000. And if you're clamoring about movements and you say, hey, this still got the 2824, which is a proven movement, solid, it's a workhorse, it's 10 steps above the NH35, and now you're willing to pay more money because a new brand got, That don't make sense to me, bro. Two newest Aragons released blew me away. I told you. Vincianico had a big year this year. Yeah, they did. Nah, Vic, I'm too broke. It was the year of the micro brand for sure. Oh yeah. Vinzi is making a big push with content creators for exposure this year, and I definitely think they deserve a look from everyone. Okay, I haven't checked them out yet. I will get into it though. I will. Bob, take a ride to Queens. They're over street corners for crazy prices. What did Bob say? Love your enthusiasm about these watches. Thank you. Not a GMT fan. I've even had a GMT hand removed on a few. I find them unnecessary. That's your old man coming out, Bob. You disgruntled, bro. I love Bob. I think some Invicta models that have the crazy design would look amazing in a small size, like the Gladiator Chrono. The Gladiator woman's version with the mecha quartz, I think was a slam dunk. It didn't. One of Invicta's problems from a consumer base, from my perspective, as well as others, is they do way too much. I say, hey, how about don't put out 5,000 models, cut that in half, take the rest of that R&D and put it into the quality of your watch and making designs I'm not frowning on some of the designs they make. Some of them don't agree with me, but I'm like, go back to your Lupa, right? Make a Lupa out of titanium. You can even do a Lupa in a tungsten, you know what I'm saying? But make some new designs. Use either the Miyota 9015s or the Miyota 75s, any 9000 series. Give us some high beat movements, right? And just kill it with your designs. Kill it with like the different colorways that you have. That's all good, you know what I'm saying? But some of their watches, I'm like, yo, you're doing way too much. It's way too many to choose from. And I understand they're trying to get new customers. They're like, but pay attention. New customers since COVID have been looking at other brands. Keep in mind, if you were all Invicta, because I know Bob is an Invicta Aragon person, but if it wasn't for, like Aragon used to be shown on Shop NBC, and Wing, hands down, got his own design language and word of mouth. In my humble opinion, of all the independent companies that can give you an affordable watch that has his own design language, I think Aragon is one of the best companies out there. His customer service is second to none. Amazing watch company. However, that's an alternative to Invicta, because if you like the bigger size, the bolder size, anything that's like 15 millimeters thick, you want something substantial on your wrist, I would say go Aragon. Because he's using sapphire crystals on certain things. He's using the R150. He's using some Lita 200s. You know what I'm saying? He's using some like Miyotas. He's using like outstanding craftsmanship. And I have about 15 Aragons in my collection. I swear by it. I mean, the most I've seen an Aragon go for was like $1,000. No, he had some that was $2,000, and that had the Val's U7750 in it. But for the most part, he has the central tourbillon, the flying tourbillon. He has Miyota movements like crazy. He has the NE86 and the NE88, which was mentioned earlier. And those, I seen those go this year as low as $450. You can't beat that. Let me get into this comment. Most Invicta designs will look fire in the 40, the 42 even. Yes, they got, I'm telling you, y'all know what y'all love, man. Invicta back in the day made the Speedway, right? And it had Swiss movement. I think it even had a Val Grange movement in it, but it had Swiss movement in it altogether, or it was Swiss made at the time. And it was in stainless steel. They had like a smoke gray, they had the gold one, and then I think like your regular silver tone. And they had gemstones around the bezel. And it looked like something that Rolex would have put out at $130,000. The watch is bad to the bone. If they did that right now, if they brought that Speedway watch back and they put the Salida 200 or no Salida 500 in that watch, or even the Salida 510 made it pure mechanical, and you put the gemstones around it, man, throw that sucker out there for what? Because it got gemstones in it, $1,000. Make it number limited to up to 500. And because you got the Salida 510 in it, make 510 models of this. In different colorways though, in the smoke gray or titanium. I guarantee you that watch will sell. I gotta stand by it. I guarantee it. But Invicta won't do nothing like that. Like, understand the larger sizes thing. And I respect that it will be bigger, robust at 40, 42. Crazy big for, yeah. Big what size is 44. Yup, the 44 millimeter, 38 and 42 millimeter gladiators. Yeah, that one I think it measures out. I think like at 43 and a quarter or something like that. My wife has one, and that watch is bad. I threw it on. I wore that sucker. That watch is huge. I mean, not huge. It's bad for a lady's watch, and it's so much smaller than the men's Yeah, that thing is cold. Would y'all laugh at me for rocking the ladies' watch? No trolling dead series. I'm not. I wouldn't. Come on, bro. 44 for the ladies is Invicta calling y'all fat. I think it would look. Oh, you missed it. Oh my gosh. I'm dead. Oh man. Wow. Man, that about took me out, man. Oh my gosh. Ooh, boy, ain't quick on them buttons, boy. You better watch what you say here. Oh my gosh, man. Get my eyes watering. Woo. I'm sorry, bro. That was funny. Okay. You got, listen, man. 42 is my max, bro. I'm petite. Shavonna has 3 in diamonds version. 3 of them. So she got all, I think that's all the colorways too. That rose tone, I think, was the best one in my opinion. I like that one, bro. But I'm not surprised that Shavonna got that. Man, there ain't no telling what else you got in your collection. This is a side note. I just want to say this. Of course, y'all know I was on a cruise just, 2 weeks ago. But I just edited one of the last videos. There's a couple more. I'll be going live with the guys that did the battle with me, right? But I have to say that battle, the show that I did last night, if you saw it, appreciate you. If you didn't see it, go check it out, man. But I've seen and learned about some crazy stuff. Like Victor Kyler had a watch made by Invicta, right? Was it Project Abda watch? You know, and this is their space mission watch. And on the case back, I know it has the mission information on the back, just in similar to this boulevard. But once you change the battery, you take it out, the case back has more information on the other side of it. And I was like, and that was a piece from what I was told. That was a piece from the actual space mission, man. And there's only a number of those pieces made. And I said, now that's awesome. That's the stuff that people get excited about. Invicta hasn't done that in a while, but I know any watch company that will, Meteorite is amazing, right? And stuff like that. But companies like Invicta that was taking that type of stuff and using it was great. But I wouldn't have learned about that if it wasn't for the battle that we did in the video I put out last night. Amazing. T White, you got picked on in the video last night. Just, I don't know if you've seen it or not. Felix did a great job. Victor Collins did a great job. My man Venom Kev, and then everybody else. We had a full house of people on the ship. And Taylor, if you, and I know we're an hour and 20 minutes in here, but if Taylor, if you get a chance to see this, if you see this on a replay, thank you so much, because I wouldn't have had that opportunity to do that in that space without you renting that room for me. If you hadn't got that room for me, man, like I'd have had to do it on a Lido deck or something crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like where everybody was exposed to. Yeah, it was great. It was phenomenal. So I just want to thank everybody that watched that. Got a new member in here, man. My man Dwight became a new member of the channel. Thank you so much for doing that. For being like you're part of the family, but you was a part of the family anyway. My girl likes watches that are match 43mm lug to lug, nothing less than 100 grams, under 9 to 10mm thick. Man, I love the battle videos, brother. Thank you, bro. I appreciate, man. I had to edit the mess out of that video. It took a lot for me to edit on that video, because of like the sound. There was a lot of back and forth, you know what I'm saying? It was weird. Now my wife, she was filming for me, but at the time she had a boot on, right? She was using, I pushed my wife around in a wheelchair on there because she had just had surgery prior to the cruise, so she wasn't walking like that. She could stand up, use her crutches, but like she had to sit in one position. So I wasn't able to do that. So if I ever get that opportunity again, I would literally have multiple cameras, like I had the body cam on and some other stuff so I could get different angles. But for what it was, oh yeah, I put my heart and soul into editing that video. So battle this Wednesday. No, so you'll get to see the people that battle. I'm interviewing 3 people, and I think that right there is one of my favorite things to do on this channel, is talk to people that collect watches. So like from Thelonious Monk, I learned a lot, the way he collects and what he looks for. Ben 10 comes on and you express and you know, like express the watches that you wear on a regular basis or stuff that you'll consider. I like hearing from people that collect, because there's so many different perspectives, you know, and like what's the reason why you collect that watch? What is it about that watch that you like? You know, and I just like to know these things, man. You know, and so I don't take, you know, all the channels I watch, and granted, there are a lot of channels that I watch, you know, and I've mentioned a number of them. Like I said, the ladies of YouTube, the watch talking heads, all of these people, you know, all of them have some type of value, but the information that they put out versus what I've seen and talked to other people, it don't match. You know, you heard the term math ain't mathin'? If you never heard it, that it just does not compute, you know, because they'll say most people are looking at this specific watch, but then you go and talk to a group of people and they're like, I've never heard of this. Shoot, I even got a guy that didn't know Rolex was as expensive as it was. There's actually a few people now. It was like, Rolex is how much? Good grief, when did that happen? I'm like, oh, Rolex has been expensive for a while. You know, there's people that's not in tune. They're not in it. They're not, for lack of better words, enthusiasts. They know about watches. They'll buy watches, maybe 1 or 2 per year, right? But they're not looking at the company. They're looking at the finishing. They don't care about any of that. So these people will go buy a watch from what is that darn, the gas station. And I'm gonna walk in there one day. It's a gas station right around the corner from me. They got a whole bunch of watches. Got little gemstones in them. They shiny. I think it's called they got one that says Air King on it in writing, and it's like $19. Big old clunky big watch. It's like 48mm, man, and it looked like it's diamonds around the bezel, and diamonds like crystals actually. But yeah, or CZs. DK in here, he said, OMG, the ghost of DK. Washington got this man working overtime, man. He been over there, man, assassinating people. Trap, you make watch collecting fun, bro. Things like this make the internet great. Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. But shoot, I can't do it without y'all. The difference is this channel, we can disagree with people and not have it affect us. That's true. You need a camera like RJ has to show the watches better. I'm gonna actually get that. Yeah, put that picture of you in the PJs, bro. Yes, sir. Hey, yes, sir. I was cracking up. Oh my gosh. So when I go on Carnival Celebration, should I rush to the watch shop or no need to do that? No, it'll be, bro. Look, it'll be there. If the best thing I'm gonna tell you about this, get orientated with the ship. And if you are used to any Carnival ships that's smaller than the Celebration, this ship is completely different. The only, so the Celebration and the Mardi Gras are the same orientation. This ship was crazy. So normally, from the front of the ship, going back to the aft, once you walk out on the Lido deck, normally what happens is, of course, it spreads out and you look straight ahead, look up, you got the screen. You have the actual screen, the movie screen and stuff like that. Then you have your restaurants and stuff like that, the Blue Iguana, the Red Frog and everything. On this ship, as you walk out, the screen is right above you. The Red Iguana the Red Frog is straight to your left. Up above is God Burgers, which I recommend you get that. But the stores are spread out. The stores are normally, or actually when you come on the ship, which is the 6th floor, 6th deck, midship, there is a 1934 Rolls Royce right in front of you. Right above that are all the stores. But then if you go towards the back of the ship, to the 8th floor, there's another store and other shops and stuff like that, and then the Pig and Anchor. But you'll be fine, bro, because they got so much stock as far as watches concerned. They sell some watches, they bring out new watches the next day. They got inventory, but I would just tell you, if you're looking for a specific watch, ask them day one. But you want to buy outside. That way, if you buy the watch while it's docked, which you can't buy it while it's docked, and you can't, you know what I'm saying? You just can't. So every time you dock, stores are closed. They're closed. But yeah, it's just no taxes on it, man. So if it's $1,500, you're paying $1,500. That's it. Which I think is cool. Let's see. Iceberg watch. 20. Yup, Iceberg. Hey, that's another one, bro. So you know what I'm talking about. We got them here. Gotta see the new Islander Rangemaster too. Hey, if he lets you, yeah, I saw that. That new Islander, man. And I want to go back into another, before we get up out of here, I want to go back to a question that was asked earlier, and it was like, for the next 5 to 15 years, what does it look like with these lesser companies, or the companies give you affordable options? Will they be the top companies to buy from? And I honestly believe yes, because economically, man, our money's in the toilet, man. Right now, people can't afford certain things, man, but they still gonna buy. Man, I don't care what nobody tell me. If you're used to buying stuff now, what's gonna stop you? What's gonna stop you? Right? So if you're looking at, hey, I want a Rolex or I want a Tudor, you can't get it now because you only make $33,000 a year, or maybe $50,000 a year, but your cost of living is kind of, elevated. Fuel, and then people want a vacation, man. People don't want to sit back and not do it. Come on, man. No, you work all year round. You hustle and bustle and do all your things and stuff like that. And you want to enjoy life. That's what we're accustomed to. I don't care how you cut it. I don't care if you say, well, brand names is outdated. Ain't nobody going. Yes, we're accustomed to buying brands. Whether you like the Louis Vuitton, whether you like Nike or even Vans. Like, you're going to buy your watch, your hats, your clothes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So I still say that at one point, until our economy kind of, levels out and we're able to spend a little more, yeah, Addie's Dive and San Martin, Citizen, these companies are going to excel. They're going to excel. Islanders, man, bro, I didn't even bring my Islander out, and I got I bought 2 Islanders this year. Plays no games. I like him. That white pick. Yeah, bro, that was... Where's Lee been? It's been suspiciously quiet. That ship had 2 Lido decks. Yeah, that was crazy, bro. So does the new Disney wish we were just on... Oh, man. I do want to go on the Disney cruise at one point. That was funny. But the part when he was mocking how I walk. Hey, bro, you be like, man, I own the joint, boy. Hey, T. White, the dude. That dude funny, boy. How many total did you add to the collection this year? Now this is crazy. I actually bought, was it 38? I got 38 watches this year, and I gave out 7 of them. 7 are gone. Are we getting the state of the collection vid for 2024 editions? Yes. I'm actually sold at the end of, like, next week. For Christmas. I'm actually, so my state of collection is gonna be a little different. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, like, one of the things that motivated me to do this live today was, like, I know what YouTube was saying or Google was saying was the best watches for 2024, but, like, what did you actually buy and what did people actually go for? And I do know a number of people bought Citizen. I know a number of people went straight micro brand. I know some people right now that they say, hey, I'm not even looking at the main brands. I'm going straight micro, right? And I don't know. I can't even tell you what I think was the best micro brand or independent out there. I mean, Christopher Ward will be in the top 5, to be honest. I'm also going to say Islander watches is in the top 5. Now, past that, I don't know. You guys let me know. What would you think is a micro brand / independent, or should we rate them separately? Because who is it? Formex is in the independent. Formex is independent. They're not a micro brand. They're independent. So I think, you know what? I think it'd be safe to say to put them in different categories, because you do have some independent companies, watch companies, and I don't want to put them in the same categories as micro brands. But I tell you what companies don't. You know, Seahome is one that you don't hear about as much. Cincinnati Watch Company, you don't hear about as much. It's not talked about. Let me see, who else? Nomadic has been creeping up as far as, like, my feed. But in the only time I heard about Visitors when I was talking about it, then you had a couple other people. Who is it? Random Bob talks about Visitor. There's not a lot of people that cover some of these brands. There's a lot of brands out there. There's some that I'll purchase. And you're like, what in the heck? What is that? So, and I think I'm going to go over that. But it'll be next. It'll be in 2 weeks. I bought my final 2 this year. I've added around 23 in my collection this year. Ooh. I would like to know what 23, man. Hey, y'all, man, hit me up. Let's talk on Instagram, man. Let's compare notes on Instagram. Follow me on Trapvision 3D on Instagram and send me a request. And let's talk about some stuff, man. I believe there's 2 channels I'm gonna be featured on coming up. I'll let you guys know once they're done with those videos. And I was asked the question of what watches are solid from the price of $500 to $700. What would I recommend? And I have my recommendations of watch that I stand by. I guarantee it. I will stand by this watch company, hands down. Hands down, I will stand by this company. What was your one favorite edition you put in your collection this year? Italian Twine owned, black owned watch company from VA. That's a hard one, bro. This year, man. Oh my gosh. I would probably say my 1938 Tissot will be. But then that's a hard one, bro, because this one, It's so it's this. Hey, bro, this year, that one, boy, that sucker. But then this one too, bro. That's hard, bro. That's hard, Brody, bro. That's a hard one, man. I would say between that 1938 and that. I think I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say Tissot. Oh, I didn't even think about that, man. I think Tissot will be a watch that would definitely be named one of the top brands this year for what they gave. Even if you didn't, if you're sick and tired of seeing the PRX come out, bro, like that's a testament to, hey, look, deal with it, because they came out with the Damian Lillard version and that went crazy. They came out with those two gradient, different color blues that went crazy. They came out with their Grendizer. And I was just talking to Jake. That thing is selling like crazy right now. People are buying the mess out this anime collaboration PRX, and then they got that PRX with the carbon. And I think the movement is different than the traditional Paramatic 80. Trap will pick a favorite watch right after he picks a favorite child. We're going with the watch first, sir. How about that? My favorite child is my grandbaby. How about that? And all of them can fight me on it. All my kids can fight me on it. They're going to lose that fight. PRX Chrono, yeah, I'm going to have to, like this one. Bro, I wear this watch so much. Matter of fact, man, get this off of me, man. Hamilton, I'm sorry, but you got to go. And then you got to, I don't have to match nothing. I got a blue and yellow. I got a What the Polo sweater on with a green dial. So, I don't care. It's all Thelonious' fault. If he wouldn't have said nothing, I wouldn't have put it on. I enjoy. Yeah. He said, you got my address. No rush. I got you, bro. Hey, DK's back. Frederic Constance is the watch brand, is underrated in my opinion. Hey, hands down. I got a chance. I had a Frederic Constant demonstration 2 months ago. They walked me through the whole thing, man. Beautiful watch, love, and the price, man. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back over the Moyers, man, and we'll talk about it. I was talking to them over there, Moyers, and starting 2025, we'll be doing a lot more over there, talking, showcasing watches. And they will pick out a watch. But once we get that ball rolling, if there's a watch that you guys want to see, all you got to do is say it, put it in the chat. I'd much rather see this watch, and that'll be the next watch that you'll get a full description of. Prices and everything. Noctua watches in here, man. What's going on? DP is in the building. They produce in-house movements and third-party movements. Yes, they. Hey, man, I love your, that's Mega Man, ain't it? That's dope. Here come another one, man. Noctua watches, bro. That's another one to look out for, man. I saw what you sent me over. When I say the epitome of tool watch, if you love tool watches, the designs, man, I think, yo, man, bro, it ain't even got it in hand. I just like, I'm looking at the pictures. I said, yo, this is dope. The line, I think it's the lines of it is what get me. And then the dimensions, man. And I'm a tool, I know my design language. This is pretty much my design language, man, is tool. I like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm going to do aviation, I'm in it, right? If I'm going to do an aviator watch, I'm in it. But then I'm into my combat subs and my dive watches, dive styles. Like, so that's pretty much the area that I stay in, right? And eventually, I'm going to add that Metis certified timepiece. Yeah. Tudor. I'm gonna get one day. And it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And it's not so much they be like, hey, you a Tudor fanboy, man. Trap, you're changing. Yes, that's what happens. Evolution happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was stuck on a brand so much to where, like, and let me say this. Bro, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I watched somebody talk about, you know, brands of watches and talk about the quality of watches, and then came and was like, yo, This brand over here is the epitome of quality. It is the creme de la creme is this, and I haven't seen anything like it in years. And I'm like, come on, man. Come on, man. What we talking about here? What are we talking about? It is a very dangerous game when you are in a position, a talking head here on YouTube. If you're in a position where people have known you for standing up and talking about a specific watch, talking about the quality of the watch, the movements, and you're describing these watches, right? People, they believe in your expertise. But then when you start comparing a brand of watch that falls far below, and if for those people that say there's no difference between a freaking Invicta Pro Diver and a Rolex, I've heard that a number of times on YouTube. There's no difference. You a bald-faced lie. You a bald-faced lie. Quit telling people that. Quit telling people that bull crap, bro. There is a huge difference in between those watches, man. Invicta and companies like Invicta were made to have an affordable timepiece for anybody to get, right? The quality, the level of quality is that, man. When you talking about there's no difference in the finishing, obviously you haven't held the real thing, and I'm gonna call it how it is. Call a spade, man. Some of you guys, you talking heads, you talking out the side of your neck. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. There is. If you say now, if you arguing it don't take $40,000 to get a good watch, that's one thing. Vacheron, I saw Vacheron. That sucker was expensive. And if I had the money, would I get it? I don't know. I'll probably buy a car before I buy that. But it doesn't escape the fact that I love the way that watch looked. I love the way it fit. When I tried it on, I said, oh, this is a beautiful watch. Is $40,000 a lot for me to spend on a watch, or me to wrap my mind around? Yeah, but then there's a lot of things that go. Again, I say this and I stand on it. If you are looking at a Tudor and it's Meta certified, I will say, if instead of you buying a bunch of watches in a year and you like dive style watches or divers, get that one, because that watch, there is COS certification, which is, I'm just gonna break it down. COS certification is boot camp for your watch. Metis certification is going special forces. So that watch can be blown up. That thing, you could be in, you talking about a zombie apocalypse, and then there's radiation, and there's like the magnetic fear of like that thing can withstand everything the earth can throw at it, just about, except for a meteor coming down hitting you directly, and it still may outlive. Well, I bet you the watch will survive before you will. But like people that saying that, these talking heads that got a channel and you sitting there talking about there's no difference, listen, just say that there's an affordable version to the watch that you really like, and you may want to hold off instead of cheating yourself. Treat yourself, save your money, and buy the big one. It's up to you though. You know what I'm saying? Noctour got me running hot tour. Stupid. Mega Man, yeah, I love Mega Man, man. Like, Mega Man is one of the hardest games in the world to play back in the day, but I beat them all. Roy, what's up, bro? Chilling, bro. Noctour watches. Go checking your stuff out as we speak. I don't know. I'm currently holding my money on Norcane instead of Tudor. Norcane is a good man, bro. Listen, bro. It's really up to you. Norcane is an amazing brand. And they got one. That thing expensive though. You can pretty much design it how you want it. They got, oh, I forgot, it's like a stupid amount of variations that you could do. I was doing a template. When they were giving a demonstration here in my state. We have a representative here that was showing me that you can make that new watch that they have. You can have it in stainless steel. You can have it in precious metal. You can just, the variation how you want to. And it was funny, the variation that I chose was the same as the representative's variation, and I hadn't seen his. The only difference was our bracelet, but the watch head, everything was set up the same. Especially if, I think it's like $19,000, I think it is, for that, 19 or 20,000. The perfect Tudor, in my opinion, would be the BB58 with the 5 link. Okay. What's your thoughts on the 1970 The Camaro reference 7220N. I own this watch. I haven't seen that one. Hey, can you screenshot that for me? I haven't seen that one. I don't know. I have to listen. I'll get back with you on that one. I promise I will. We'll have to talk about that another because I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that watch. Stop, bro. You know I got mad about that crap. Yeah, bro. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, bro. Come on, man. Gotta run, gents. All right, Vic. Priest chap. Thank you. I recently saw Longines Spirit Chrono and the Longines Ultra Chrono. They are stunning. I'm telling you, Longines is the way to go, man. Trap, didn't know we can't enjoy watches without putting other watches down. I got it, man. Better watch in person the product before buying it. Huge different preach. Yeah, 40K is up there. Sheesh. Once I get to that level, everyone in my family have a house. Yeah. Vacheron to spend with the $10,000 watch. Nah, better look on Zenith or Tag. Zenith, you know what? I think Zenith, man, I don't know, man. Zenith isn't talked about a lot either, and I love that their watches, man. Their chronograph is amazing. Even the way it, just the way it looks, without even knowing what it's powered by. But like that watch is amazing. Now it's pricey. The one I was looking at was, I think it was $18,000, or was it? Yeah, it was about 18 grand. I still wouldn't spend that much on a watch, even if I had the money. Even if I had the money, you know. And I think too, if you had, like we talked about that, if you had $100,000 to spend on a watch, I asked that question over the summer, and it was interesting. I got a couple of authorized dealers involved, and we were walking around the store, and they were picking stuff out. They're like, oh, I'll get this, get that. I mean, at $100,000, the first thing I would say and I would recommend is like get watches that you wouldn't normally get. You know, if you had to spend a whole $100,000. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure the watches that you get, you have to consider after a certain time, you're going to have to get that watch fixed or repaired or serviced. So keep that in mind. You may want to start a fund and be like, hey, I need to put up at least a $50 to $100 per month, you know, starting just in case this watch goes out, man. I might have to spend about $5 grand getting it repaired, or you just like forget it. You sell it to somebody for parts, but I don't know. But I mean, if I had $100,000, man, like one of the first watches I thought about buying is an Omega. That's in my wheelhouse. Like, I like that. So Panerai was another one. You just dropped knowledge. I have never beat any video game. He said I'm trash. You never beat Mario Brothers? Oh man, you gotta beat Mario Brothers, man. Super Mario. Thank you, man. Like, this was the only one they had too, and I was like, I had to grab this one. The problem is that Norcane Tutor and maybe Breitling uses the Kinesi movements. Yeah, all of them use the same movements. But I think they have and I want to say they were the first company I saw that did a chronograph with the like that mint green or pistachio green dial. They were the first company I seen to do that. And I think, honestly, Norcane is a dynamic looking watch. That is one of the best looking sports watches that I have actually put on. And I absolutely love. See, and this is why I like that new PRX, because it reminds me of that Norcane. What is it called? Something wild. It's something wild, but like that. But it's expensive though. Like it is pricey. Not saying it's not worth it, but it is pricey. If I beat. Yep. Yeah, I was hyped on Norcane, but that feeling fizzled out. Every watch from expensive to affordable has a unique list of strengths and weaknesses. Price and quality will always be tied to each other in some capacity. So many good watches in every bracket. Man, bro, there's so many, and you have so many options, man. I'm gonna tell you this though. I'm gonna say one of the best options to get, which I'm looking at because I absolutely love that Diver by Grand Seiko. It is a fluid look, and it almost reminds me of Breitling Super Ocean. That watch is dynamic. I love the boldness of it. But Sam Martin sells that same watch, or the homage to that, for $239. And I don't care if it had an NH35, NH36. I don't care if it had a Miyota movement. That watch fire. And I will buy that one before I buy the Grand Seiko, because I know I'm not dropping $6,800 on a Grand Seiko. Would I want to add a Grand Seiko to my collection at some point? But I'm not in a rush for it. I'll buy homage. Man, stupid. Them people call talking about, hey man, you want to sell your house type people. Get out of here. Thank you, Skylar. Let's see. My goal at the beginning of December is to buy a new watch with a 3,000 euro of my choice. Will probably be the Longines Blues. Oh, that'd be a great choice. If I receive the call from San, ooh, that's another one that San watches. I got a chance to hold on to put one on. You know what? After this live, I'm about to go over to jewelry store. I'm about to go over to Mori Jewelers, man. I'm about to just go look. I think Teddy Bulbasaur discussed the Cincinnati Watch Company. Did he? I may have missed that episode. I saw the price on Longines, and I think it's honest. I think for what you get, the Longines is a great choice. Yup, I like that about Norcane as well. If I do not receive any call from AD Noctura, I will buy the Longines and wait upon the San. Grand Seiko is what I would buy. Grand Seiko is hard though. Grand Seiko's hard, bro. Like, if we're talking spending, and again, like, I can't tell you guys how to spend your money and what to spend it on, man. But I'm telling you, man, like, for my design language, like, watches that are like have that expense to it, anything over $1,000, man. Like, the first thing that comes to mind is Longines. I like Longines. Tudor comes to mind. And then I'm gonna tell you this: the Rolex Air King will be the one and only, like that, and the Datejust. And the only reason I will buy the Datejust is because Martin Luther King wore the Datejust, a gold Datejust. I can't remember the reference number. It's like 1601 or something like that. But that will be the only reason I would have a Datejust, is because in that one that he wore is expensive if you try to buy. So I would just get a Datejust and say I bought this because Martin Luther King wore it. He was like one of my heroes. I grew up, there was 3 men on the walls of my grandmother's house. It was Martin Luther King, Harold Washington, which was the first black mayor of Chicago, and Jesus. That was it. So I grew up, you know what I'm saying? And they don't have a watch that has Harold Washington on it, or like that he wore. That's significant. Or maybe I need to research. Maybe he did, but I'll research it. I love that MLK wore the Datejust. Yes, I love the story behind that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only, like, when we're talking Rolex, and then something I learned from one of you guys told me that, I'm not sure who, but I did. Maybe it was who was it? Robert Wood, I think, gave this information that the dial of the Air King was actually was on the dial of the car, the car that broke the speed record or something like that, or broke the speed barrier, fastest landing vehicle on record. And I said, really? That is history out, and I like cars. I like racing. So that would be the only reason I would buy Air King. Plus, I love the dial of the Air King. I think the Air King is amazing. And I would buy the homage to it, but if I would just buy the Air King, I wouldn't even cheat myself out of that experience. I know an AD that offered me a 25% discount on the Longines that I mentioned. Well, look, I'm gonna tell you this. If there's ever, if I'm in Moyers, not Moyers, but Moyers does not offer me the discount that Trifecta does. Trifecta offers me a great discount off a lot of the watches, and he has Longines. So all I tell you to do is this: if I'm ever in Trifecta and you want to know if that watch is a participating timepiece for my discount, reach out to him, because he gives discounts, man. And this one thing I dig about Jake is Jake does not have to give out discounts. You know what I'm saying? He don't. But the fact that he offers me the opportunity to have you guys save some money, yeah. And you can get the watch that you like, yeah, I'm on that. Tag, my opinion, has more racing heritage than Rolex. It does. Not even in your opinion, it does, bro. It does. I have, you got 5 Air Kings? Good night. That's dope, bro. Rolex is for me just a symbol. There are tons of good watches. I agree with you on that one too. Rolex has been, I mean, you think about this too, man. If we're talking history about watches, going back, what was the young lady that said she swam across the English Channel the first time and she tried to prove it and she couldn't do it on the second go round? She comes back, she failed that challenge, but that Rolex she had it wrapped around her neck, attached to her neck or chain or whatever, survived in the water, right? The waterproofness of that watch held up. So Rolex actually excelled from that. So this showed you that now this watch was set up for star power. And that has always been Rolex's standard in marketing, is we got all of these famous people from the Serena sisters, from what's his name, Tiger Woods. All of these stars have known, that have been in the news, that have like been broadcasted all over the place, had a Rolex. Placement, man, I'm telling you, marketing for Rolex is second to none. They are actually the leaders in it. So anytime you get paid, like they got a Rolex, what was it? Domino's Pizza Rolex. Have you heard about that one? If you were a successful business owner, property owner of the Domino's Pizza, right? Store manager, or whatever your position, the title was, if you meet certain criteria, you got a Rolex with the actual pizza in there. They did that for Ford out there, man. My one of my neighbors, he got a Rolex that has the Ford insignia on it, on the back of it. So yeah, man, like that just shows a status symbol that you've accomplished. You have made the best choices with your money, all that. But then when you get into Patek and AP, that's something completely different, because like now, like you got to have money to get into that stuff. I mean, even an Invicta collector can afford a Rolex, because I know a couple that got Rolexes and Omegas in their collection. Don't get it twisted. Rolex is an obtainable watch, just depending on how you spend your money or how you save it. You know what I'm saying? You can save up to $8,000 on a watch and find a Rolex, a Submariner, for $8,500. Or if you one of them lucky souls to get a Rolex in an estate sale, you may get it for like $1,500 or something like that. Shoot, you may even get it cheaper than that. I do not like Rolex marketing, but that is something else. Yeah, Rolex marketing, but it's there though. Like you go on Rolex's website and they have a whole section for all of the famous people but I'm gonna tell you, I got a company that has not been in more movies. This watch company has been in more movies than any other watch brand in history. And they'll never, I think, what was that movie? Interstellar, hands down one of the best movies ever created. And you had the Murph as well as the Cooper. You had two watches, two Hamilton timepieces. But that Murph, that was the movie based around the Murph. That's crazy. So, yeah. That's another reason why I like Hamilton. It's just, historically speaking, Hamilton's one of the best watch companies out there. Vintage Rolex is where it is, because the culture, it will be affordable if you're buying vintage. Yeah, that's true. I love finding good quality vintage Rolex auctions. Yeah, auctions is where it's at. The AD in my area has used Rolex for under $5,500. Hamilton is fire. Yup. There was a real interesting conversation on the Escapement 24 channel. Okay, Escapement 24. Okay, I'll watch that on my walk back home. You got a Rolex Solar Aqua from 1938. God, dog. Sheesh, that's dope, bro. That's crazy. Hey, you are the watch connoisseur of today, bro. The latest year I have may be 1987 for your Rolex. Okay, that's still old, man. 87. When I was playing with G.I. Joes in 87, you couldn't tell me nothing, boy. Oh my gosh, G.I. Joes was it. Oyster Quartz Rolex is a collector's item. Yes, it is. Somebody just mentioned that on their channel I saw last week, I believe. You took it in on a trade? Dang. Man, that's crazy, bro. Speaking of Hamiltons, I had another Hamilton hidden in there. I forgot to even bring this one out. This is one of my favorite Hamiltons. This thing is dope. I like. Oh man, it's a dope watch. There's another watch in here. Dang, I'm forgetting. Oh, this the watch must have was like the most hype watch, and I call this the Jordan brand of watch collecting or watches and the Zellos. But this, I'm going to be talking about this watch in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks time, I'll be talking about this watch because that thing really, yeah, I'm not gonna, yeah, I'll just tell you about it later. Dang. All right, I'm setting up. I'm about to get up out of here, man. Let me see what time it be. Man, I've been here for a minute, man. They're about to close. So anyway, man, thank you guys, man. We've been on for 2 hours. I think, is this the longest I've ever been on this vertical live, or is this vertical, horizontal? Vertical, yeah, vertical live. Speaking of Hamilton, their movements are better versus Tissot's, in my opinion. They do not have any plastic parts, and I think that was, so I do have one of my watches. Which one is that? Gosh, it does have plastic pieces, but this one, absolutely not. And I don't think I have to research, but I don't think that new one, the carbon one that just came out, the one that's extremely limited. And for your information, FYI, that watch, Tissot did not. Well, they underestimated the sales on that one because the gradient dial, they expected the gradient dial PRX to sell like crazy. It didn't sell as much, and they said, all right, well, they put that carbon out, they didn't put enough. It's back ordered with a lot of authorized dealers right now. Even my man's up there in Trifecta, man, he had, like, the first week he had 20 orders, and they only sent 5 of those 20 orders in. He's still behind on orders. I'm gonna call him today, but I still got some videos to watch because you guys told me, who was that, Thelonious, she told me to watch. I'm gonna look at that. Escapement 24 channel, I have to look at that. PRX Chrono does not have any plastic. No, it does not. If I ever decide to buy a PRX, I'll take the quartz version. And you wouldn't, that would be the most affordable and actually one of the best quartz out there. It's extremely accurate, solid, man. I actually like those, man, those quartz versions, man. So let me know if I can help you guys out with, finding some watches. If you want to mess with Trifecta, I did not put that in the description, but if you just happen to put trifectawatches.com and ask for Jake, he ships out. You buy it, he ships it out immediately, but he will give you my discount. So that being said, I'm about to be up out of here, just to be truthful. Yeah, I feel you, bro. Thank you guys for watching. Stay live. Tell them. Hey, I tell you, bro, they won't bother me though. They won't bother me at all, man. That's why I dig them, man. They good people. But anyway, I'm out. Thank you guys for giving me 2 hours of your time, and I'll see you guys Wednesday evening. I'll have some Invicta collectors up, and we'll talk about their profession. We'll talk about the cruise and just life. All right. So thank you guys for watching, man. Y'all already know what it is. Until the next lightning strike, y'all be blessed. Amazing people.